Hey friends, it's Jackeline here. You may have thought that I had forgotten about my February roundup. No. I haven't. I just want to really try each of the products that I reviewed during the month of February and bring you here my final thoughts on each of them. Let's start right away with primers. During the month, actually starting in January, but then all the way through February, I tried two primers. One of them is the new Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer, as well as the Tom Ford Soft Matte Primer. Yeah, this little bottle that is lasting, it's staying there, it's powerful. Because I usually use primers not all over the face, but rather where I have my enlarged pores, which is this area right here. And by the way, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Welcome to all of you, my friends. I do have what is considered mature skin. I'm on my fourth floor. I'm over 40 years old. I do have dry skin on the perimeters of my face. I do have a little bit more of like normal skin right here. And this area right here is where I have my enlarged pores, my problematic area. I mean, aside, the fine lines and whatnot, I will be leaving all those details as well as foundation matches and the links to each of the products that I will be talking about today on the description box below for your convenience. Anyhow, going back to these primers right here. So I will have to say that both of them, they act very similar. The Hourglass Airbrush Primer, it gives you this very airbrush smooth effect to the skin, and I have it right here on this area right here, but it doesn't really mattify, it doesn't really like completely, it's not silicone, therefore it doesn't completely cover the enlarged pores, while the Tom Ford one is more mattifying, and I have it on this area right here, and as you can see, it looks a little bit more flattened, but without being unflattering. And also the biggest difference between both of these primers is that the Tom Ford one, it really extends the longevity of your foundation, while the one from Hourglass is not really targeted to, increase the longevity, but rather to just give a very smooth canvas to your skin. The Soft Matte Primer from Tom Ford, this one right here, although it's a soft matte, to me it's not super mattifying to the point that I will not use it, like for example right here on the perimeters of my face where I have more of dry skin. No, in fact it looks very nice and it really blurs beautifully those fine lines and texture as well. Both of them really beautiful. I think the one that makes the most difference on my makeup, that makes it a little bit more perfected, is the one from Tom Ford. Okay, now let's move on into foundations. The foundation that I have today is the KOSAS Revealer Skin Improving Foundation SPF of 25. So I went ahead and exchanged my shade because the shade that I picked up first and the one that I created my review with, it was a little or very light on my skin. It was 170, and these over here, I think it's 200, yeah, 230. I think it's just, now it's a little bit, just a tiny bit, like maybe one or two dashes a little dark on me, not super dark, because right now, I mean, we just stepped into spring, summer is coming, so I know I'm gonna get a beautiful tan, and this will be just perfect throughout these upcoming months, so that's not an issue right there. Now this foundation has a kind of dense consistency, and I don't want you to take it as like dense, oh, it's gonna be cakey, it's too thick. It's not thick. I don't know how to explain it. It's creamy, but at the same time it has some density. Even when you spread it, it spreads with, I don't know, some very different kind of evenness to the skin that looks very perfecting. It's actually a natural foundation with what I consider a medium coverage. I do have a ton of freckles, so to me something that is full coverage will really need to cover them. So for a lot of people, this may be a medium to buildable full coverage kind of foundation. It lasts pretty well. It does have a beautiful longevity, but it starts wearing off. I will say it at a 6-hour mark. You start seeing not gathering, but just wearing off, in like different places, perhaps, around your mouth, on your chin area, on your jawline, along those lines. It's nothing that I will say, oh wow, I see patches here and there. No, and it doesn't settle on the fine lines. Even on the smile lines, it looks really beautiful. I will have to say a little goes a long way, and that's the way that I will use it. Also, it does stay pretty natural throughout the day. If you have combo skin, you may see a little bit more of those oils, coming through, which to me, it doesn't bother me at all because again, most of my face is dry, so it doesn't bother me. You may want to powder it if, as right now we're getting into the warm weather, but it's a lovely foundation. I will say, definitely a natural foundation, and I really love that it has SPF. Although I always say, foundations that they do have SPF, they do not replace your sunscreen. So forget about that thought right there. You always need to wear your sunscreen, but I like the added benefit. And not only that, it does have other benefits right here. It does have skincare ingredients such as hyaluronic acid, which is pretty common on most products nowadays, but it also have niacinamide. It does have peptides, squalane, and I think is the squalane that gives it that density without being too moisturizing, but it feels very comfortable on the skin. It feels like you don't have really foundation on your skin. It's very comfortable, and like I said, a little goes a long way because it does have a good amount of pigmentation. It does have arnica, vitamin B5. It also has caffeine in it, so it really awakens your skin and it leaves it looking very nice. And if you have sensitive skin, it doesn't give any type of irritation. That's zero irritation. It's a beautiful, beautiful product from KOSAS. But the foundation that for me wins in terms of how it looks on the skin is that Sisley, the Fito Blanc Le Cushion foundation. Now, this is a reformulation, new packaging, and oh my goodness, if this is a jaw-dropping, stunning foundation. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. It looks just like your skin. Very little amount is what you need. You don't need a lot, and it does have a lot of coverage. I will not say full coverage, but light to medium coverage, buildable to medium coverage. But what a way to leave your skin looking so perfected, youthful. It looks kind of like silk, but not with a ton of radiance, but kind of like the finest silk that just looks so smooth, and it just looks so gorgeous, beautiful. The only thing with this foundation that I don't like is the shade range. I own 1N, and again, I will be leaving all the shades, everything, it will be in the description box below, but this is the deepest shade, and this is very sad. It makes me super sad that Sisley is not able to bring such a beautiful formulation, a cushion foundation in this type of formula, in more shades. And I know with cushion foundations, and mostly this has SPF, it doesn't say here, but it does have SPF, that is hard to formulate. But hey, KOSAS have an amazing shade range. Why they cannot bring this formulation in a more broad shade range? That really makes me super sad because I'm a light to medium skin tone. I'm not too deep. I'm not in the tan spectrum, and to want it to be the deepest shade and still not there, that just makes me really sad. But if it's beautiful, it is gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Now let's move on into Chantecaille. So Chantecaille came out with their Giraffe collection, and in this Giraffe collection you get an eyeshadow quad and 2 lip cheeks. Gorgeous, beautiful formula of eyeshadows, stunning. I love the shades right here. They are so beautiful. They are just, this shade right here, this one is the one that I have right kind of like on the center of my eyelid. I just tap it in very lightly. The formula is super soft. You get this kind of duochrome right here. Then you get this white shade that it really is transformative. It's more like a topper unless you pack it on. You get a matte shade and then you get a satin shade. It's a very easygoing, nude kind of eyeshadow quad that takes you for your everyday. Formulation is beautiful, compact. I love also the packaging is just super pretty, and the shade selection is as beautiful too. And in regards to the lip cheeks, I love the formulation of the lip cheeks. They are kind of like hybrid between a satin lipstick and a lip balm with plenty of pigmentation. They do have a little bit of grip in them, making them not super thick, but you can really feel your lips being hugged by the lipsticks, which is just amazing. And the shade selection right here is beautiful. This one is in the shade Jasmine, which is more of kind of like a nudie shade, kind of like you know, like your everyday shade. And then this other shade right here is Freesia, and this one is My Lips But Better. If you like kind of like a pillow talk kind of shade, you're gonna love this shade right here, and you can build up definitely the intensity. There's another shade that I think it was in back order. Well, I shouldn't say back order, it just didn't came on time, but hopefully we see it soon coming. And now going for Tom Ford. So Tom Ford came out with a new formulation for his on the Badass formula. Yeah, that's the name of it. Sorry. That's the name. What can I do, right? And he came out with 2 eyeshadow quads. But this one in a specific, Metalast, it went out of stock, and the only place that it carries it at the moment is Beautylish. I saw it a couple days ago in stock. I went ahead and put it on my Instagram. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram, because anytime that I see something that is coming back on stock or something new, a new release, an early access, I go ahead and put it on my stories. I try to put it here also on my community tab, but if you want like super fast, you know, go ahead, follow me on my Instagram. The handle very easy, at Jackeline. So this is another of these kind of like nude kind of, you know, like your nudie kind of like eyeshadow palette, but this is more than that. The formulation is what is stunning. These 2 shades right here, they look wet on the eyelids. You don't need to wet them at all and whatsoever. And also it's a palette that it can give you more than just, you know, sometimes we think about, oh, a quad is just going to give me, you know, one kind of look or 2 kind of looks. Here you can just use the matte shades right here, create an all over matte shade for every day. Or you can go a little bit more on the pinky, warmer tone right here with this shade. If you want a cooler tone, then you go ahead and use your cool tone right here. You can make it a little bit more smoky by using this as a base all over, and then apply this toppy shade right here. So it's a palette that takes you day, night, you know, in different occasions. Very wearable palette, and perhaps one of the best formulations from Tom Ford, aside to his wet and dry formula. I hope that this can continue and stay permanent on Tom Ford's line, because this is a gem, a complete gem. It's hard to get your hands on it, but if you see it, do not hesitate. I know sometimes we go like, oh, I have too many nude eyeshadow palettes, but this in a specific, it's something that I see very easy becoming, you know, like if you're very minimalistic, my only palette, that's it. And continue talking about Tom Ford. He came out with this new creme formulation. So it's kind of like a cream to powder formula. That's what it is. It does have a lot of emollients in it. I have on my eyes today tiger eyes, and like I said, I have a little bit of the duochrome shade from the Giraffe palette from Chantecaille just in the middle of the eyelid, but it's just such an exquisite formulation. Honestly, this rivals a little bit the wet and dry formula, because at the end it gives you kind of the same finish. And yes, you can use it dry, and don't worry, it looks like it has heat band, but honestly I'm able to pick up all the shades with a brush without any complications. Love, love, love this palette. Perhaps because it's very, I don't want to say that it's identical, because it's not identical to Suspicion. In fact, I do have reviews for each of these products. That's why this is called a roundup. Hello. But this one is kind of like the sister of Suspicion. So if you're a person that likes those golden tones, kind of that J-Lo kind of vibe, you're gonna love, love Tiger Eye. It's beautiful. I love this peachy tone, and it gives me just that very golden goddess kind of look that I absolutely love, absolutely love. And then Rose Topaz is more like your seductive, your more intriguing kind of girl, you know, it's your cool tone palette. Very lovely. This shade right here is wonderful too. This is a one and done taupey shade, that shade that looks wet on the lids. It's just so pretty. I don't think, putting it right here will do it justice, but when you apply it on the eyelids, it transforms everything. And the shades all in general, between the matte shades, the tauper shades, the metallic shades in both of the palettes, they blend with so much easy without fallout. And that's another thing that I love too, because I'm a person that, I don't know, like the way that I have done my makeup for many years is I put first my base and then I go with eyeshadow. I know a lot of people do it a different way, but if you're a person like me that, when you're in a rush, you go first with your base, you will have no trouble on these at all and whatsoever. Now, what I have noticed with these shades right here on Rose Topaz is that it doesn't lose intensity, but you can really buff it to be kind of this pewter grayish kind of shade that looks very, very, like I said, very seductive, very intriguing, because it's such a beautiful cool tone palette. Lovely. And there is a third palette that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up getting it during the Sephora Spring Savings event 2022 that is coming right now, April 1st. It starts for Rouge members. If you haven't watched my video where I give you my Sephora must-have, my OGs, don't miss it out. It's a long video, so I will say, maybe do 3 different days, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here, or, like half and half, 25 minutes, because I think it's 15 minutes long. But if you want my OGs, those products that they are just carry at Sephora, that I have, used those products for over, not months, but over years, I will highly suggest you to go and check it out. And I'm pretty sure I will be creating, I don't know if you're gonna see, most likely perhaps after this video you will see, I'm planning to do one that is talking just about the newest products, the ones that they just launched on 2022 carry at Sephora. But anyhow, going now into, I got lost right here, I think. No, I don't. Oh, let's talk about fragrances since we're talking about Tom Ford. So I didn't get the full size of the new fragrances from the Garden collection of Tom Ford, but I made my review because my essay, she was so kind and she sent me all of these fragrances. And the one that is to me superior to all of them is Rose d'Amalfi. For the longevity, I don't know if it has to do with my chemistry or what, but I can even smell it to the next day, which is something very rare for Tom Ford, because Tom Ford, it doesn't disappear on me right away, but the longevity can be between 8-10 hours, some of them 6 hours. But Rose d'Amalfi, it has that beautiful kind of like marzipan but floral, kind of like powder sugar kind of scent without being too powdery. Is the perfect spring fragrance. If you're looking for a spring fragrance, I will say go ahead and pick up Rose d'Amalfi. And I said it, and I'm going to say it again. People have been asking me, are you going to get the big bottle? I will get it, but during the sale, because why not? Right? I want to obviously save some money right there. And then in regards to Rose de Chine, it's a very like crisp, clean kind of scent, kind of like pine kind of a smell. Not really for me. I just don't really like it that much. And even for me, I like kind of like how intriguing it is, but I don't think it's a fragrance for me. And I was actually thinking perhaps, like purchasing one for my husband during Valentine's Day, but no, I don't think he's gonna like this fragrance. It's not bad, but it's a very deep, intense, a little bit dark fragrance. And I think in the end, the rose, it gets a little bit lost here on this event fume. So for me, Rose d'Amalfi is it. Okay, let's move on from Tom Ford and let's go to blush. And I tried the new Patrick Ta She's Blushing Blush. Now, this is not a new formula. This is just a new shade. And I have to tell you that the formulation, it's just as amazing and stunning. I think this is a shade that it was really needed on the repertoire of Patrick Ta, aside that he brought the shades from the holiday blush palette in singles. So that's perfect because that you have now a ton to choose from. I created a video where I compared side by side on my cheeks with Cheese Soleil as I to make a ton of, different swatches, comparisons. But this is a beautiful rosy tone shade that different from all the other duos from Patrick Ta. This has a little bit of that alike shift of the single blushes from Patrick Ta. It does have a little bit more of a satin finish on the powder formulation, and I love, absolutely love the cream shade. This is gonna be so hard to see. There's no way to do justice to such a beautiful blush. Look at those tones right there. So delicate, so soft, so beautiful. One to me that it actually makes me think a little bit about, that Victoria's Secret angel kind of vibe, that kind of like pillow talk kind of look. I think she's blushing is like that. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but it is the blush that I'm using today. Okay, friends, and now going into another blush that I tried. Again, this is not a formulation new to me, but I reviewed the new Merit lipsticks, and I went ahead and tried that Terracotta Blush. Beautiful blush. This is kind of like your everyday blush, very like clean makeup look, in the sense, not clean because it's a clean, I mean it is a clean brand, but clean in the sense like very like soft and natural, not too much. I will go ahead and apply it directly, from the pot, because that's how you get the most pigmentation. And do not blend too much, because then it's just such a light formula that it doesn't carry too much pigment. There you go. And this one right here, as you can tell, has a little bit of that terracotta peachy tone in it, a very neutral, nudie kind of shade. And then for highlighter from Merit, I'm using the shade Cava. I do have, again, this is not a new formulation for me. I do have the deeper shade on my collection, and I love this shade. Cava is where it's at for right now, because the other shade works really beautiful during summertime when I get a little bit more tan. But this one right here, the formula is just invisible, in the sense that it actually makes your skin look like it's wet. So if you're all into the very clean makeup, very ethereal kind of look, that it just makes your skin look a little bit more juicy, and you don't want to have too much makeup, this is such a gorgeous highlighter. It really doesn't have a base. To me, it doesn't have a base at all. It really adds just that beautiful, like wet kind of finish. It's just incredible, very easy to use. Merit products, they are truly stunning. And I also tried the brow gel from Merit, and this one right here is not a typical brow gel like, say, the Patrick Ta or the 24-hour brow setter. It's not a true gel that will actually make your brows stay in place, but this is rather just kind of like a brow tint. That's what it is. In fact, I think it just says right here that this is a volumizing pomade. So it's not gonna leave your, and I actually applied it today, it's just gonna brush your brows and just give them a little bit of volume, because it does have some tint to it. I don't think it has any fibers in it. At least I can not see any fibers. It would just add a little bit of a tint. Again, that very characteristic kind of look from Mary, that is very simplistic makeup, just a little bit of touch up without looking like too much. But if you're looking for something to hold your brows, this is not the product. Yet it's a very lovely product from Merit. Okay, and now going into lipsticks, and because I was talking about Merit, I'm gonna go with the lipstick that I'm using today. Is Sleep. What a gorgeous shade. This is kind of like that beigey brown shade, but nudie still, that is very hard to find, and I really love the pigmentation. It's more of like a satin formulation, but not super shiny. It does have beautiful opacity, but the beautiful thing about this formulation too is that you can just use one swipe and it would just give you a very light veil of color, and then as you like build it on a little more and a little more, then you get that full pigmentation, but the opacity is there throughout the entire time, even if you apply it very, lightly with just one swipe, or if you build it up. And if you build it up, it doesn't feel like a sticky or too thick, or just that you will feel afraid that it will go all over the place. It doesn't. And I think the shade selection is pretty on point. They only have, I think it's 8 different shades, but all of them are just lovely. This is a little bit of like a pinky shade, but it's more like a cool tone pinky shade, which I love. And I love the packaging. These are just so different, so beautiful. I think they did just an incredible job. Now going into other lipsticks, Natasha Denona came out with I Need a Rose lip collection, and I ended up getting all of them because I really love this formula. It's such an incredible formulation. I mean, the previous formulation is really good, but this one I like it a little bit more because it's a little bit more satiny, that it makes your lips a little bit more look a little bit more full without, there's no plumping, nothing of that. It's just very lovely. The opacity is a lot more than the Merit. With these ones, one swipe and you get the shade that you see right here. It is the shade. And I think the shade that I like the very most is Kala. I think it's just so beautiful. I mean, typical shade is nothing, out of this world. It's a nudie tone with a pink hue to it, but the other two shades are beautiful too. And I don't have that many of these pinky tones on my collection. Daphne is gorgeous as well. See more pinky right there. And even the lightest shade, which is Peony, it looks really good on my skin tone. I thought at the beginning, I'm like, maybe not, but it looks just so pretty, so beautiful. I think she did an amazing job on the creation of these shades. And again, I just love the formulation, how comfortable they feel. They feel a little bit, again, a little bit thicker than the Merit ones, but with more pigmentation. So it's not, Merit is the one that you can build it up, go lightly and whatnot. These ones are like full pigment. And then a product that is not new but is new to me. I was skipping on these lip liners like for forever. They are the Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lip crayons, and I got them in 2 different shades. The one that I'm using today is Kala, and I have been missing big time with this formula because it's long lasting, not like extremely long lasting, but I will say, a good 6 solid hours. And the pigmentation, I love that they don't tag on your lips. They don't look too shiny. They don't look too matte either. They are super comfortable. Love both of the shades that I got right here. Kala is my favorite one. It's your, very traditional nudie shade, like everyday shade. This is, a very kind of like that OG kind of shade. And then I also got the shade Peony. Peony to me is just a little too light, but I really like it mixed in with the Peony lipstick. I think, they pair together just perfectly. I mean, leave it to obviously Natasha Denona to make perfect combinations right there. And then going for more lipsticks, Hermes and their Spring Summer 2022 collection. This is, I shouldn't say a new formula because we have seen it on their Poppy lip balm, but that lip balm does have not only a little bit of pigment, but it also has a little bit of shimmer in it. While these ones right here, there's no shimmer. There's no zero shimmer. And I love the way that you can build it up. This shade right here, as neon as you can see it, this is gonna be a go-to shade for me. It looks very alike to what it will give you, kind of like a lip gloss or a lip oil kind of look, but with pigment, which is just beautiful. The opacity is there. This one is the lightest one. This is Beige Dew. I'm using this one mostly either bare, or I use it with a lip liner underneath because you can barely see it. It's, like I said, a lip balm that feels so comfortable on the lips. And then this shade right here, which is perfect for springtime, Rose Nymphy. And this one, you see, this has more opacity to it. But these lippies, they really feel so beautiful. It's like, again, it's a little bit of like a satin, balmy kind of formula, but not balmy in a thick way, super thin, and they leave your lips looking very beautiful, hydrated. There's a specific shine that just looks very lovely. And for being, I don't want to say sheer, but to have a little bit of that translucency, they do have a beautiful opacity that really doesn't make like, you know, this weird contrast between your lip shade and the actual lipsticks. Beautiful. And then that lipsticks that have stolen my heart, that I have went ahead and went ham and bought more, are the Sisley Fito Rouge Shine lipsticks. I have 4 right here, and I picked up a refill. These are just stunning. Oh my gosh, these are that lip balm lipstick, but with a finish of a lip oil that leave your lips looking just juicy, plum. Oh, they just look like, hey, you know, you have to kiss me now type of lipsticks, because they just are amazing. My favorite out of all of them, I have so many different shades right here, but Sheer Nude is the one that I have on top of that Merit. And look at the shine. It's just like juicy. Mm. Lips look wonderful with or without any lipstick or any like lip liner. If you're gonna pick up one and you're more like, oh, I'm a person that likes just nudie tones, go with Sheer Nude. Otherwise, I really love the shade Sheer Petal. Sheer Rosewood is beautiful too. It's more of like, again, kind of like that pillow talk kind of look. But Sheer Petal give a little bit of kind of like a cool tone, pinky. I mean, it's just so pretty. Let me just swatch them here for you, because I think you need to see these. Perhaps Sheer Nude, you're not going to be able to see it. Just a little right there. And then I have here, this is Sheer Petal. Then let's do Sheer Rosewood. Sheer Rosewood, it's deeper. And then I have here Sheer Coral. This is stunning. Summer is coming, and look, one swipe and it's there. They just look so glossy, but they don't go everywhere, and they leave your lips looking just beautiful and feeling so hydrated. I think that's key. And then I have here shade 11. Oh, where's the shade? Sheer Blossom. Another favorite. Ooh, so pretty. So pretty. Sheer Nude to me is that transformative kind of shade. A very transformative shade. All of them are just lovely. And again, I love the way that my lips feel. I use them kind of like a lip balm, you know, because I know the amount of hydration that I'm getting from them. Totally, honestly, now I know there's so many lipsticks right here. You're going to tell me, what's the difference right here? Let's see. More pigment, Natasha. Buildable pigmentation, Merit Beauty. With hydration. Natasha, moisturizing, Merit, hydration. Then the lip cheeks. Close to the Merit Beauty, hydration, and hugging on your lips. You feel your lips being hugged. Lip cheeks from Chantecaille. Any lip cheeks, the formula is like that. Then you're going to have more pigment from Sisley and more shine, lip oil, kind of hybrid with a lot of hydration. You feel that your lips are being cared for. And then Hermes are more like your tinted lip balm with a little bit of a lip gloss kind of effect, with great opacity for being such a light kind of like wash of color that you can also build. I mean, I hope that all of this makes sense. I know it's hard to describe, when something are very close to one another. Love them all. Love them all. And yes, my friends, here we go. This is it. Yeah, this is it. These are the products that I tried during the month of February, and this is my roundup. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you find it really helpful, because I know the Sephora sale is coming, in a blink of an eye. Next week it will be here. And I know sometimes it's like, okay, what should I really, if it's something new, is this something that I should really put my, interested on or not? And if it's not a Sephora, I mean, other places too. But anyhow, friends, I hope that you enjoy this video. I would love to know from you if you have tried any of these products or if you're having any of these products on your wish list. Let's continue the conversation on the comment section down below. And while you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, share with family and friends. And until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.